Hey everyone, welcome back to another Poem Master video. So yeah, as usual, the end of the month, right? Let's do some of these, right? The tier list videos. So, anyways, as usual, just the quick pop up the whatever disclaimer, whatever this and that. Read that over, blah blah blah, and let's get into it. So, yeah, this month we got actually a decent amount of units, right? And some pretty interesting ones. Again, I don't feel like any of them were like crazy, but just some solid units here and there overall to fill some voids. All right, let's start off with the new damage deals that we added right this month. And first of all, Fall Iris, this is a big one, right, with Poison Zone, all that stuff. She's a straight up, again, outside of damage zone, she's mostly here to do damage with her Hyper Beam, and she does a decent job at it, right? Definitely a decent job at it. Again, nothing is like very that like stands out like a lot about it, but it's just good solid damage. That's not anything crazy, but not like bad either. We probably put her in this tier, right? I mean, you know, with units like Lance, Mewtwo, right? Relatively similar, I'd say. So yeah, she's pretty nice. Moving on. Next, we got Norman. Is not moving anywhere, unfortunately. His grid did not. Again, you could legitimately put up some like normal damage numbers, but A, it's normal type. B, he also dies in the process. So that doesn't really help him. Doesn't really help him too much, unfortunately. All right, moving on. Let's see. Helena. Probably she's all right. She's all right. We probably put her around this year again. Even though she's tech, she's mostly a damage dealer for the most part. She has a few things going against her, right? I feel overall she's probably not as good as something like Fantina, even though I feel they're relatively similar, right? But yeah, she just doesn't do as good a job as Fantina. And in terms of some other things, well, she doesn't have a EX, unfortunately, either. And yeah, she's yeah. Nothing too much to talk about, or not a very interesting kid overall, I'd say. Moving on, we have Raihan. Raihan is very, very, very nice now with a fantastic Sync Nuke. Again, his team is very restrictive in terms of if you want to get like the best out of him. But if you do have like the best team around Raihan, right, he could put up some like generational numbers both on DPS and sync wise. So we could definitely put him in top here, right? So Raihan's very, very, very good. Let's see who else we got. Victor's pretty solid too, right? The AoE max move is good. The free move next on the high horsepower ground type DPS is nice, I guess, but his overall DPS isn't great, right? So it's but he definitely got that AoE max move going for them, which is good. Makes up for a bit of his slightly lackluster-ish DPS. Again, it's not like terrible DPS, but if you compared it to like almost like anyone else in the same tier, well, maybe not anyone else, but if compared to like most units in the same tier, it's definitely not there, right? So all right, as for any units that got really buffed due to the the new rebuffs or zone units, right? Got Fairy and Poison Zone, also rebuffs for Fire, Ghost, and what was the other one? Fire, Ghost, and Fairy, right? Fire, Ghost, Fairy, plus 2 zones. I don't really feel like the Fire rebuff moves the needle for any of these units. In almost every single of the Fire units' cases, they have better team comps to run than having Gordy there, right? Again, which I feel like Gordy is more of a really, really nice option for an extra, unit to throw in to pair with a Fire unit in Gauntlet, but not exactly in any like top, team comps for any of these Fire units, unfortunately. What are the other ones? I honestly don't really see any of the Poison type units really moving up either. This Iris doesn't actually work that great with a lot of these Poison Strikers. There's a few hybrid Poison units that Iris does definitely work well with, but stuff like, Looker or Roxy, not the best fit overall. But Fairy, we could definitely move Diantha up one. Definitely can move Diantha up one. She works very, very well with the new Wally. Yeah, Wally helps out with her multipliers, all that stuff, and then like not only do you have zone, you also have like rebuff there. That's some really serious numbers that Diantha can now put up, right? So that's really nice for Diantha. Moving on to the hybrid units over here, right? In terms of like the new ones, it's really just what Wally, Gordy, and Lucy. Well, Lucy's not new, but you know, new grit and all that stuff. So I guess we'll start with Wally. Wally is nice, right? Again, he has both the rebuff and Fairy Zone in there. He's pretty good nuke too. Definitely one big downside is his DPS is not the greatest, right? Definitely not the greatest in terms of DPS, but everything else is relatively good. One thing too that I don't really like is like the and it's not just like a Wally specific issue. It's just a buddy move issue in general in terms of like how it gets like unlocked after you fulfill the conditions. Like it's, I just wish it was like instant because it would help like Wally specifically a lot more. Right, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, that part slightly sucks, but again, it's not a Wally specific thing. It's like it's all buddy moves. It's just that I feel like it probably affects Wally and Cynthia the most, right, in terms of just move queues. But yeah, anyways, he's good. Moving on. What else we have? We have Gordy. Gordy is, again, very nice. The fire type rebuff is obviously very good for fire type units. He just doesn't really fit into like any mold of, well, I mean, if I'm trying to build, you know, the strongest fire type team possible or strongest rock type team possible, he just doesn't really fit into any of these. But again, he should be relatively useful in a lot of cases for Gauntlet, right? So we could definitely put him up here. Again, it's just the rebuff is just good. Rebuff is just very good, and yeah, it's like Zone, but like not really. it's a different version of Zone, right? So, anyways, moving on, I got Lucy here. Lucy could probably put in good. I mean, she got a lot of sync nuke stuff, DPS stuff. Would have been really nice if she got an EX there as well. But, you know, regardless, the other stuff she got is pretty nice. It's just that her team comps are slightly wonky, right? So that part slightly sucks. Her being physical/special split, that definitely doesn't help with trying to, you know, figure out the supports for your team. Again, there are a lot of units that could definitely make it work, but it's just relatively limited if you want to go full DPS. And yeah, she could still do the stall stuff if you want as well. I mean, that's still an option. But yeah, that's that. I guess, yeah, so there's a lot of units that you probably want to move over here, right, in terms of the new zones. For example, like Plumeria, I'd say you can move her up one. Koga definitely fits very well with the new Fall Iris. You could definitely move Koga up. What else can we do? Oh, I forgot about Tate. Tate's here, fine. Move Tate from like damage shield to hybrid. Tate, the grid made him more of a hybrid-ish. Again, he could do some damage now and then some stuff off his sync, but it's more so he has that really the nice flinch things, right? That could definitely help a bit in terms of against in certain gauntlet situations and stuff, right? So that's nice, I suppose. But yeah, his damage I wouldn't say is good enough to really make him like fully damage healer, right? Who else did I want to move up again? Oh yeah, it's Serena and Marnie, these two with Fairy Zone and Fairy Rebuff. They work really well. Both of them work really well with the new SS Wally as well. So yeah, they both become pretty powerful damage wise. So yeah, you can definitely move those two up. Probably move Mass down a bit. Yeah, it's just this. He helps your team speed, but he's also a speed, gauge liability himself. His setup is not great, and also he doesn't pair that well with the Dark Zone setter, which is Darkrai. But yeah, that's I guess one I probably move down. But anyways, moving on. Next we have supports, right? So supports, utility units, whatever you want to call them. So we got our long-awaited Glalie EX and extra grid expansion, which really did help her a lot. Again, she's not like a top-tier damage, or not damage, support, but it makes her much more usable. She is still a pretty not that good tank, right? Unless I guess you're in just straight up like hail teams, which she's all right physical defensively, but stuff like healthy buffer definitely helps her tank with extra the endurance stuff. And yeah, she's now a crit buffer as well, potentially max crit buffer with the extra special attack buffs. Yeah, she gives you some stuff offensively, some offensive buffs, and again, support EX is just always a W to have, right? So yeah, I definitely don't think she's the worst 5-star summonable anymore. And we probably, we probably put her in this year. Like, I mean, there's genuinely a few units that I'd like take Laylee over, right? I mean, most case scenarios I probably take Laylee over like New Year's Lily. Certain scenarios probably take her over Obstagoon. Obviously, Obstagoon a bit more defensive. She's a bit more offensive, but yeah, her Mega's still pretty pointless. But the support EX isn't pointless. Support EX is not pointless, that's for sure. Well, I guess the extra speed is always good to have. All right, what else? We got Raihan. Raihan's all right. This Raihan's all right. Again, nothing super crazy. It's just a solid extra buffer that you could always throw in for gauntlet runs. What else we have? Melanie. Melanie's very, very good, right? She's not like a crazy buffer or whatever, but like she's solid defensively. She has the screens, all that stuff. And she's a 1-gauge sleep spammer, which I keep forgetting she does the sleep stuff. Which is obviously very, very good. 100% sleep is always nice, right? Again, especially against gauntlet opponents. A bit conflicting where she's like a sleep chainer when she's also like really defensive. Like, it's all right, man. You're already putting the opponent to sleep, like all the time. They're not attacking you. Like, what's defense is for? So she's a pretty overkill, like defensive support that could also give you some stuff on the offensive end as well. And let's see. Alistair. Fall Alistair is very, very, very good. Fall Alistair is very, very good. He's just a very powerful, I'd say, overall special support, right? He's kind of like, again, I make this comparison a lot because I do think they're really similar. Right? He's kind of like a newer Sabrina with the extra like ghost type rebuff, right? Whereas newer Sabrina probably a bit better of a special support, and then Alistair's a more potent crit support, right? Again, and if you get lucky, you get something like a free move next or whatever or a special move up next off of his train move. That's always nice. If you don't get anything off of that, you still have really, really good support, right? Regardless, and one of those very, very rare special supports that are pretty good defensively, right? Physical defensively in terms of tanking. So yeah, that's this month, right? Bit of a shake up, right, with the fairy and poison zones and the rebuffs, right, in terms of the ghost type rebuff, fairy type rebuffs, right, and like the tandem of ghost or the tandem of fairy zone and rebuff really made a lot of fairies pretty nice, right? I'd say, especially again, I feel like Summer Marnie and Palatine Serena are really great recipients of that, right? So, anyways, that's me on this one. I guess hope you all enjoyed. I got a link in the comments down below. Enjoy videos from our channel for some more podcast content, all that stuff. Ooh, sorry about that. Again, I'll try to fix my audio thing soon, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.